What is that? Good morning,
How we doing?
everyone.
How we doing? How we doing? How we doing? Bethany, turn your sound
No,
off.
we're getting a.
We can hear ourselves echoing through. How's everybody doing this morning? Let me get waves to make sure we can hear everybody.
Can you hear
There
us?
you go. I got a couple of waves.
That's awesome. That or they're
Eric, that's not a wave. That's a fist pump. Good job.
I'll
All
bring you
right.
back, friend.
We're excited to see everybody today. We're going to dive into lots of good topics. We got a couple of great guests. We're going to talk about all the great things been going on at Samson and talk about the market. So be ready to participate. You did not come here just to listen to Sarah and I talk at the TV. You guys got to jump in here. So let's dive on in. Let me see the slides here if I could. There you go. All right. So this is the week. We're finally here. If you have not bought your ticket yet, go to topproducertakeover.com. You can keep us on one part of the screen. Buy your ticket right now, $39, super cheap. What?
That's just taking for granted they want to keep you on their screen.
Well, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Why would you not?
Guys, it's going to be a great, great day. We have got a fantastic lineup of speakers. We have got a lot of great, engaging topics of conversation. Our keynote speaker is David Childers, who is the CEO of Keeping Current Matters. He is a fantastic content generator, data aggregator that really puts out for the real estate market. Guys, this is going to be a great, great day. I'm super excited about this.
So many of you have joined us in the last year or two and maybe haven't been to a Top Producer Takeover. So I put up the schedule there so that you guys could see kind of a walkthrough of what it looks like. I'm going to do a fireside chat with John Coleman, super successful realtor, but just an everyman realtor. Went from, sorry, I said can't hear anything. Okay, we're good. Went from, just being a regular. I love his story because he's a regular agent. Sometimes you see these people,
a
regular guy, and sometimes you see these people on stage and they're doing 500, 1,000, and they seem unattainable, right? But John is just a down to earth, great guy. And I want to tell some of his story and how he went. Now he's got an amazing Instagram following at Coffee with Coleman. So if you've got Instagram up in the next couple of days, check out Coffee with Coleman. Jason Miller is going to teach a great class on ChatGPT for realtors.
He is so positive and just so engaging, and as far as just really good down to earth tips that anyone can apply.
So just fantastic stuff to start the day. And then, like Sarah said, David Childers, fantastic speaker. He speaks all over the country, and Keeping Current Matters is one of the top, real estate production, companies out there that produces content for realtors.
Generator, yep.
And they're in the market when it comes to realtors and lending and rates and everything real estate. So I love that. And then we got a couple panels in the afternoon, right, Sarah?
We do. So our first panel is going to be Jen Smira, who is a repeat.
We gotta add somebody to that too.
Yes, and it's a great. She's got great insights. She's one of the top producing teams at Compass. She helped Compass get started in this area. So she has a lot of great insights. And then our wonderful Bob and Rana are coming in. And then we've got, like we said, we're filling that panel out, but really focusing
Carolyn Young.
Oh, we added Carolyn Young. That's right. She didn't make the slide here.
Yes.
But talking about the market shifting, what clients need, innovating their business. It's going to be a great panel. We've got the second panel after a single presentation, which is going to be Jason Sherman, Melissa Prowlis, Wes Peters, and Donny.
Oh, this guy.
And this guy.
So Jason Sherman is the CEO of Arla Real Estate, which is a great company. Melissa Powlis is the CEO or president of a local Keller Williams. I don't want to say the wrong one there, but one of the Keller Williamses in that Columbia area, fantastic leader. Wes Peters has his own independent brokerage, Corner House Realty. Fantastic leader, great guy. I've gotten to know Jason and Wes pretty good over the years. Got to talk to them some. So I think it's going to be a great panel.
It's going to be talking about leadership and shifting and how to grow agents and how to grow brokerages and how to grow teams, taking that leadership angle, whether you're a team leader or you're running your own business or at a higher level, what does that look like and how is that going to change?
Well, and that too, which is we'll get into a little bit, but the other thing that I liked about it was this. Look, you guys listen to Sarah and I, and you hear our advice all the time. You're like, all right, I get it, Donny and Sarah. And you guys have good stuff to say, hopefully. But what is Jason telling us? What is Melissa saying to Keller Williams? What is Wes saying to his realtor? Like, what are they teaching and what are they pushing in a market like this? And what
it's best practices we're getting out of this, guys. Best practices. And don't forget Austin. He is going to be talking about he's gonna
drop in today. That's why I saved him.
All right, come back to Austin.
But he is curating an incredible client experience. So Austin's going to give a sneak peek into that later today during our sales meeting. But you can see just fun-filled day, lots of great interaction. You get breakfast, you get a networking breakfast, you get a full lunch. and then you get a happy hour afterwards. So
You may also
really a great day. And people ask this all the time, do I have to come and be there for the whole day? No, we think you should. But if you can only make the afternoon, it's still worth it. If you can only make the morning, it's still worth it. So hopefully we'll see lots of your smiling faces there on Thursday. Should be a great
And I
brunch.
will leave you with one nugget. We may be making a special announcement. And
Oh, just don't say anymore.
a little bit of a gift.
Stop it. You're like a dog with a bone. Stop that. All right. There'll be some special announcements. We also give out raffle prizes throughout the day. Probably end up winning a prize worth 3 times what your ticket was worth. So good stuff. So hopefully we'll see a lot of you out there on Thursday. A couple tips before I dive into some stuff.
Yes.
Not enough people are using this. And you look at the top producing agents and the top listing agents, they are. I interview a lot of great listing agents, and it came up 3 times in the last 2 weeks when I was talking to agents from other companies. They're like, well, what do you do? And they're like, oh, well, I get a deal with Zillow Showcase with my company. Oh, really? What do you get? Well, we get to pay $400 per or $350 per. And I was like, actually, we get $250 per. But they're using Zillow Showcase. It is the best way to make sure that your listing looks fantastic. Look, I don't care if you love Zillow or don't love Zillow. It's the number one traffic content. That was the worst sentence I've ever said in my life.
It is the one place that every single buyer goes to look at properties, and potential sellers go to look at properties and to look and see what's on the market. And you are setting yourself apart by doing a great job and putting tags and bling and neon signs around that listing so that you're showing potential sellers you can do the same thing to them, but you're driving those eyeballs to that property. And at the end of the day, that's what you need to sell a property at the best terms.
So that seems like a lot of money. So for those that don't know, it's $550 a month to have a subscription to Zillow Showcase, and you get one.
You get one token.
If you need a second one, it's $750 or $1250 depending on the price point. So $250 per. You don't need
or $1250
for the second one. Right? But
yes,
it says just $250 per token and no subscription needed. So that's the real deal that we have there with you all. So
yes, you
want to give you a heads up on that.
It's not a regular reoccurring expense that you have to budget into your budget.
The other great events that we have all over, I want to make sure you guys are aware of the HQUs. It's the best thing we do. We bring everybody out, we train, we network all day. We've got training. We're not going to go through the whole Stafford schedule, but in the next couple of weeks, we're going to be in Stafford on the 24th, National Harbor October 1st, Gainesville October 8th, and then Charlestown, West Virginia October 23rd. So circle those 4 on your calendar now. Those will all be in the next month before. What are we saying? Big Donny head. What are you guys talking?
You're on the big screen in Bowie.
Oh, geez. Okay. Big Donny head. You guys are distracting and childish. All right.
You when they got distracted, we were fine.
Want to make sure you circle these for the next month. We are putting them. I think they might already all be on the chronos for the rest of the year. But those are the next 4 coming up. So circle those, get to HQUs.
You do not have to be in that office. Come to one of you.
All of you can drive to one of those 4 offices from wherever you are. Even if you're in Richmond, it's an hour to get to Stafford. If you're in the one side of the Maryland, you can go to Charlestown. If you're on the other side, you got National Harbor. Anywhere in Virginia, you can get to Gainesville. Look, everybody can get anywhere.
I've never had a single agent tell me this was a waste of my time. Every single agent says, I took nuggets, so many nuggets, I don't know how to execute them all.
Don't quiz Sarah on how to get to the different places, because she doesn't know how to get there. She just types it in Waze and somehow shows up. All right, let's hop into our guest speakers, because we've had enough of Donny and Sarah. Are the Jamils, my boys, on there?
Yes, they are.
So the Jamil brothers are broker managers in Leesburg. They're also amazing realtors. They've been in the real estate. It's probably been they're 12, 13 years now.
Your words are not coming very well.
I'm killing it. I don't know what you're saying. Can you get them up there?
I asked him to unmute.
I'm here. Can you guys hear me?
Well, yeah, there.
I didn't see because you didn't spotlight. So how long you guys been doing now? 13 years? 12 years?
13 years.
Oh, yeah. You're getting old, buddy. You're getting old.
I know. We're definitely getting up there.
Oh, okay. He wasn't spotted on my screen.
Yeah.
He threw off there. All right. So, and the blessing that I had in my life was that Saad and Arslan were on my team back in the day when they were babies, 22, 23, 24 years old.
Babies. What are you talking about?
They're still big back in the day.
But here's my joke. They knew they could do it better.
Yeah. Great joke. Yeah. All right. So here's the one thing I will say about Arslan and Saad, and I'm going to embarrass you guys for a second here, embarrass Saad because I see you on the screen, is I was doing a good job at listings, and I had a lot of listings. I did open houses, and I was asking for people that want to do their open houses. Saad and Arslan, every single week, they were on it. They quick to jump in. They gave amazing feedback to me at 4:02 after the open house. They would give me paragraphs of information about who came in, what was the feedback from the people, did they have any interesting conversations. Even if the seller popped in, they would give great feedback. And after a few weeks, when I started thinking about a team, right away I thought about Arsenal and Saab because they were hungry, they worked hard, I could tell they were diligent.
They were professional.
That's how you impress people, by doing a great job. So I'm embarrassing him, but 12 years ago, Saad worked hard, and he impressed me so much that I was like, I need you on my team. People are like, why doesn't the world just give me stuff and give me leads, give me this, give me that? They showed a work ethic that made me want to partner with them. And now they've grown their career into what, $300 million of sold sales up in the top there. And you guys are 500 million?
Five.
That sounds right. You guys have been doing it a long time now.
Yeah.
500 million in sales and so just fantastic stuff. So I'm just going to keep rambling about Saad. But Saad, what do we got to share today, my man?
So first of all, Sarah, we only got to where we are today because Donnie's still our coach. We didn't do it better than him. We only got to where we are today because Donnie's still our coach, our mentor, and
that's sweet.
Cheers.
Kumbaya, boys. Kumbaya.
So, well, first of all, I'm surprised you put me as a guest speaker because I'm definitely not a great speaker at all. I have anxiety speaking. So for everybody, I'm not going to be the Jason Shepardak of speakers or Casey Sampson or Dustin Fox or all my favorite people.
The world can't handle too many of them.
Right.
There's only one Jason, Dustin, and Casey. It's okay. Just be the best you can be.
I'll do the best that I can. And so everybody, please bear with me. But today I actually wanted to talk about a business foundational element of our storefront, right? So for a second, everybody take a pause and think about if you owned a storefront of a flower shop in downtown Leesburg. There are many other flower shops out there, hundreds of them, but it's your own storefront. So what are you going to do? You're going to show up every day, right? You're going to show up every day. You're going to change up the front curb appeal. You're going to change up the flowers based on seasons, based on the time of the year and whatnot, right? Even though there's hundreds of other storefronts out there. Let's take another step to dealerships, car dealerships. There are hundreds and hundreds of them out there, car dealerships. And as many of you guys know, every day dealerships in their parking lot and inside of their stores, they will rotate cars in and out. Now, when a customer walks in today and goes home to think about it, comes back tomorrow, he's going to see the storefront has completely changed. Cars have moved in and out. And he's going to be like, whoa, they're actually selling. They're actually doing stuff, right? So that's the main storefront that everybody looks for and as a business foundational element. Now, let's gear this to real estate. I know everybody loves it when Donnie always announces, hey, we're opening up a storefront over here, this location, that location. Now, if that storefront happens to be close by you and close to your home base, you get very excited. You're going to show up to that office every day. You're going to do your work. You're going to do your client meetings. You're going to do your settlements over there, and you get really excited about it. But what if this is where Donnie is going to become the Oprah of real estate? What if Donnie told you guys, you get a storefront, you get a storefront? I picked out some names. Richard, Bethany, Kellen, all of you guys, Eric, you all get a storefront. You guys will get excited, right? What's going to happen? You're going to show up every day. You're going to do what you're supposed to do. So, Donnie, don't panic. I know we're not.
I'm good. I know where you're going.
Oh, Nancy.
Go ahead.
So, you guys actually do have a storefront that Donnie has given everybody. Don't panic, Donnie. I'm talking about Lofty CRM and website-based platform. That is your storefront. Now, believe it or not, I actually do a little bit of coaching nationwide throughout the country, and I do have a few students. And one of the things that I realize is that most real estate agents will spend the most time creating, designing a business card and making it all pretty, buying even a domain name, but that leads on to either a basic website. It goes nowhere. And one of the biggest complaints that I hear is why they're not working on their website is because they're like, well, I'm not tech savvy. I don't know how to maneuver stuff around. I don't know how to update it, all that good stuff. So here's a pro tip. Lofty has a YouTube page playlist which goes over specifically every section of their website for you guys to create your storefront and how to customize it and update it. Now, going back for a second to the logic of the flower shop storefront, the dealership storefront, where every day they're making changes, every day they're showing up. What exactly do I mean by that? And what can you guys as real estate agents do at your storefront, which is your Lofty website, your digital storefront, your blueprint out there, right? So you guys need to show up every day and change stuff around. Believe it or not, I change my storefront 4 times a day.
Woo!
Look at you.
Why do I do that? Now, I'm not saying for all of you guys to go out there and change your design, change your layout, or whatnot. Absolutely not. What I'm talking about is each one of us, again, the goal as being real estate agents, what Donnie mentioned earlier, is I showed up, I did my job, I did what I'm supposed to do as a full-time real estate agent, or even as a part-time real estate agent, whatever it may be. You are showing up and you are having real estate conversations, right? You speak with any coach and they will always tell you, how many real estate conversations are you having per day, right? Now, that same conversation you have, you need to implement and put that out there in your storefront. And on your real estate website, Lofty does an amazing job of 2 different things. One, SEO. For those of you guys who don't know, search engine optimization. Lofty is really good at that, and just leave it at that. You don't even need to think about it any further. Secondly, they have AI tools. Let's suppose you had a really good phone call conversation with the client and you thought about what you spoke with them, right? And real estate agents were always ahead of the curve. We're living the market live. So what can you do? You can have that same conversation at your storefront, right? You can go out there in Lofty with the AI blog system that they have, put in your idea, and literally within under 2 minutes, you can have a whole blog posted out there on your website. So that's what I mean about updating your website, updating your storefront multiple times a day. Because guess what? Google rewards you for showing up to your storefront and updating your storefront. And that's what that is. And one of the things that I want to mention, and I know this was one of the topics that I think Sarah had in there, but think about where all of you got your last 5 transactions. And believe it or not, 2 of my last 5 transactions directly or indirectly visited my storefront.
Wow.
It's
So-
it's real though. We talk
It
about it
is.
all the time, and we don't push it enough. And it's a great point, Saad, is, if I'm gonna have somebody come fix my, broken garage door, right? I'm gonna get 10 reviews and look all over the line. And before I call somebody in my house,
I'm getting referrals.
we
I'm
spend
good
30
with it.
minutes popping around and looking at people's pages or getting reviews on different websites.
And that's for spending $200.
Right. Before they're going to have somebody come in and give you $20,000 to sell their home, they're interviewing you online. They want to see what your website looks like. They want to see that you're a pro, and
if you can't market yourself, how are you going to market their house?
right. So
Right. Absolutely.
having that storefront, and nowadays with AI and with, putting your thoughts into a blog like that quickly and getting that SEO is a great tip, and gives you that new storefront every day. So that's great stuff. We should be doing that at Samson. Let's make that note. We got to do that at Samson. We got to update our blog every day. I'm going to have Sarah talking to AI every day. She's going to post you don't want to do that? You've already just put your Tuesday tidbits in there every day. Put like half of it.
The biggest misconception is that people believe that consumers don't actually visit their website. And the thing is that, there's so many real estate agents out there. Everybody has a website. But the reality is, I guarantee 90% of real estate agents, they may have just put up a very simple, basic website, but never went back on it. How do you expect Google to reward you when you're not showing up to your storefront?
And the bare minimum is having the website with the basic stuff. Now let's take it a step further. And if you guys are not, if you're keeping track of every top producer that we've had on here, their message is simple. Show up, do stuff. Show up and do stuff. And this, I love the fact that
Hopefully
someone
good
said,
stuff.
look at your marketing, look at your website, It is it's more than the digital business card. It is how people are finding everybody right now. And great tip, Sod, on just using the customization and the simplification of Lofty. Bold Trail's got something similar. Using either of those free resources that we give you at Samson to be able to maximize your Google presence to get the eyeballs, get the leads, get the traffic.
I love it.
Yeah,
Great stuff,
absolutely.
Sod. You're the man. And if you have
Hey, Donnie, can I get one last thing from you?
Of course.
Can we just have you say, you all get a storefront?
You all get a storefront. Everybody gets a storefront.
One for you, one for you, one for you.
Perfect.
Yes.
Good work, Sod. You're the man. And if you want more tips on that, we've got great teachers. Will Kilker, does a great job teaching all of our tech stuff. And Stephanie knows a lot of our tech stuff as well. So hop in there.
Workshops,
take the classes.
Yes.
I know Lynn's proficient on all those things and teaches on some of our stuff as she travels around teaching all of her stuff. She uses a lot of the great Bold Trail and Lofty stuff as well. So thank you to all of our great staff that's out there teaching you.
Yes.
And like Saad, he went and found a YouTube playlist that has the video step by step on how to do it. That's awesome.
And I also want to say kudos because you started this with, I'm not a speaker and I have anxiety, but you did a great job. You are a speaker and you pushed right through. So take a lesson for everybody out there that feels like they cannot do hard things.
Yes.
Do hard things.
If they want more of me, I'm happy to do a class. I know this was a very quick thing, but definitely because I actually do come from a background of a little bit of IT. And I do had a good background of website development, so I always believed in it. But again, it's doing it the right way. And again, thank you, Donnie, for the platform that you invested into for Lofty. I know there's Bold Trail as well, which is pretty nice. But as much as we all hate technology, and yes, every tech system will have its kinks, but I'm a big fan of Lofty for sure. And I do think it's very, very user-friendly that anybody can do it. And yes, again, that pro tip that if you just search Lofty on YouTube, they have a entire playlist of customizing their website, every aspect of it. And how do I update the four times a day? I have my VAs. I've given them that playlist and told them what exactly they can do. And they're doing 4 different blogs per day for me. And,
awesome.
And on that, I'm sorry, one last little tip that I'll give you guys. The biggest thing that consumers look for, and which for me comes out on Google as one of the top just organic searches without spending any money, is market updates in your local market, in your local neighborhood.
Yeah, do market updates in local neighborhoods, do market updates. Because if you Google, give me an update on Potomac Station or whatever, some neighborhood, if you've done a market update for it, you're going to jump up there for it. So I love it.
Absolutely.
Great stuff, Saad. You're the man.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you,
See you
Sod.
soon, brother. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to do audience participation now before we bring in our next guest, Mr. Austin. How is everybody's open house traffic? This is when you cannot hide, and I don't want just text bots. I know you guys can message in there, and that's great, and it's helpful, but
Raise your hand.
hit the raise hand button on your Zoom, and you're going to raise your hand, or else I'm going to volunteer you and ask you how I'm going to start having Sarah pick out people, because she has a computer and I don't, on who
I have the power.
she has the
That was a
power.
little creepy.
That was very creepy.
It
Not
was
a little creepy. It was
very creepy. Yeah.
So I'm going to jump in and ask people how their open houses have been the last couple of weeks. Are we seeing good traffic? Not good. Seeing good traffic. Now that we've passed Labor Day, we're into that fall market. Seems to be that people are kind of settled back in and out there. So Dwayne Zook, who it looks like, Dwayne, you just joined us, it looks like. So can we get a spotlight on Miss Zook?
There we
It's
go.
not Dwayne. How do you say your name there, Ms. Zook? Oh,
it's Dawn.
Dawn.
It's a U instead of a W. Yep.
There you go. How you doing, Dawn?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me today.
Welcome,
So-
welcome.
Thanks. So my open house traffic picked up a little bit in a neighborhood that's been like crickets
All right,
for
so
about
talk
the last
about
2
what
months.
markets you work in first for everybody.
Okay, so I'm in the Greater Richmond area with a lot of new construction listings at Lake Anna.
Okay.
And so Lake Anna has been a very spongy market for the last couple of months.
Spongy.
So,
I like that word, spongy.
I like that word.
it's
I mean, it's
not
a great word,
quite
but it's
soft.
spongy. Yeah.
Yeah. But certain subdivisions and pockets have been pretty quiet the last couple of months. So just had an open house this past weekend, had 6 groups tour, 2 of which were not neighbors, but I was excited to have the neighbors, particularly in a community where people have a lot of second homes because they have friends. And I asked them, spread the word, let your friends come be your neighbors. So, you
Love
never
it.
know. All it takes is one.
Good stuff, Dawn. I like it. I like it. Neighbors are good. They build
Yeah.
connections.
That's
They're
right.
either going to sell someday, or in a neighborhood like that, they want their friends to come be their neighbors, right? So
Exactly.
those are the best traffic you can get, because the people buying that home might not be in town that weekend, but they got to get,
Right.
hey, come on down here. This is a good one to buy. So
Yeah.
appreciate it, Dawn. Thanks for hopping in and sharing, and welcome to
Sure.
Samson. Good to have
Thank you.
Absolutely. Mr. Shively, how are things going out in West Virginia? I'm calling on
Uh-oh.
you now.
Got voluntold.
I did. Unmute yourself.
Unmute yourself, Adam. You're never afraid to talk.
Hey, hold on, there we go. Hey.
Hey.
Sorry, I had you in the background working on a CMA. Way to call me out, man.
Welcome.
Hey, so yeah, things are going good. We had 2 open houses this weekend. And I mean, I think Alexis staffed them for me. Thanks, Alexis, if you're on here. But one of them was pretty good. Had 3 or 4 people come through, which is actually okay for West Virginia. We're not the Virginia and Maryland markets for open houses. If we get 2 or 3 people in, we're happy. Real people, not people looking for a free lunch. And then the other one we had a virtual, and we had one other one, and we do have a contract coming on that one. And it did come from somebody that visited the open house with their agent, so that's cool. Yeah, but overall, it's definitely a weird market over here right now. It's in that fall. We're in that fall phase. So West Virginia, we've seen a little bit of a slowdown, I think, overall, but it's normal. Been that way for 20 years. So
Good. Well,
happy.
I
We're
appreciate
working
you.
on
Always
listings.
willing to help, Adam. I love it. Jumping in, letting us know. But I am curious, because I've heard if anybody else out there is, you got open houses with good traffic. Because what I've heard in some of our masterminds and around is that we are seeing some good traffic at open houses, and we're seeing a lot more free agent buyers. People coming in that don't have a realtor, maybe necessarily because they haven't committed to anybody else. Is that are you seeing any of that, or anybody else out there seeing anything similar to that? It's very odd to see Justin over top of Bethany's
I
head
know
in
it's
the picture
very
up there.
odd in
It's
the
a little creepy.
yeah. Because you're on video. Yeah, you're on video.
Anybody else with any open house thoughts, good, bad, or indifferent, before we move on to Mr. Southern?
What are you guys seeing in Maryland?
You gonna call him something?
I
You're just
am.
gonna say it out loud.
Marvin Murphy, I see you. You're always good for a great comment. Unmute yourself, friend.
Hi. I don't hang on. Can you even hear me?
We can.
Okay. So Liz and I were at her listing in Germantown. We had several neighbors. She had a really good Friday night open. And then we had a 1 to 3 open on Sunday, and we had 10 real people and 2 or 3 neighbors.
Awesome. So you're seeing people come.
People are coming, yeah, and she's not here because she's presenting an offer. So
Fantastic. So it sounds like we've got open house traffic showings, or people are coming. Now, did you find them, just for my own edification, were they represented by an agent, or were a lot of them coming and not represented? Oh, we lost her. She's muted.
All right. Well,
Never
good.
mind.
I appreciate the feedback.
Guys.
We're gonna be ready to jump in next time we go to feedback here. We got a couple guests now, but we're gonna invite in. Do you have him there, Bethany? Mr. Austin Southern, is he in the chat? All right. Austin Southern is the managing partner at the Monumental team, powered by Place, and they're just a phenomenal team here. And Austin is a rising star in the real estate world. He's also going to be one of our great speakers on Thursday. So good morning, Austin. How you doing?
Good morning, Donnie. Good morning, Sarah. How are you guys?
Fantastic.
How are
Austin, you have a lot of books behind you. Are you very important and you read many leather-bound books?
They're color.
That's fine.
They're color coordinated as well. It's cool.
Yeah. I Roy G. Biv'd the books. Yeah.
The books. Friend, that is awesome.
He really did. It's in that order. That's
this is about half my books.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
How many of those books have you read, Austin?
70% probably.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're like 25 years old though.
28. Come on.
Just joking. Well, thanks for coming today, Austin. We're excited for Thursday, and the rumors are going to give us a little sneak peek of what we're going to talk about on Thursday.
All right. So I absolutely love this business for a few reasons, and I think we all do. And one of them is that it is an excuse to go out and make as many friends as possible. But what's important in being a friend to our clients is a few prerequisites, right? We need to actively listen to what they tell us, and we get the opportunity to be very creative with our business in curating their experience specifically for them. Now, there are some other prerequisites as well. We need to know our paperwork through and through. We need to master the basics. We need to make sure that we're confident in leading people through transactions rather than just letting them drive and facilitating the transaction for them as a clerk, right? But assuming we get to that point, and also paying attention, taking notes on what our friends and clients tell us, storing those notes in our CRM, whether it be Lofty, Bold Trail, or even just an Excel spreadsheet, whatever you use it, have the notes. And that allows us to create an experience around the transaction that is tailored to each individual. This can make all the difference when real estate transactions turn to the way that they often do, which is difficult, that the client knows that you're listening to them and their preferences. The client knows you're hearing them and their complaints, and that they know that you have their best interest in mind throughout the rest of the transaction. So a small example of that I'll share today was on a listing appointment with a woman in the Northern Virginia area. She mentioned that for 7 years she lived in Paris, and
Nice.
she was working there, and she had a particular penchant for tea. She, in fact, offered tea at the appointment. And I happened to have, in my own life experience, experience with a particular Parisian tea. And so after that listing appointment, along with a handwritten note, what do you think showed up at her front door, hand delivered by a courier? A particular tea we had mentioned in the listing appointment. And
Crazy.
that lit her up for the second part of the transaction as we were moving
Right.
forward and signing paperwork.
Well, you just reinforced that you cared about her and the things that were interesting to her.
Exactly.
And ultimately, that's all people want to know is that you care about them.
Yes,
You're listening.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And that cost me about $11, right? To have it couriered, handwrite the note, and the tea. And it made all the difference through what ended up being an extraordinarily difficult transaction.
Yeah.
I just want to point out, Austin, I like chocolate.
Perfect. Yeah. Well, Sarah, if you have a house to sell, I'll be happy. Yeah.
Well played.
Wonderful. But we have these opportunities, small, inexpensive opportunities from actively listening to create the experience around our clients. And we don't need to, at the end of the transaction, go spend $250 or $500 on a gift that may or may not matter to somebody, right? When it can be small gifting, small moments, small acts of service throughout the transaction that make the entire difference.
I love that.
Yeah.
And I think that getting really creative is one thing that might be missing if you've fallen out of love with this business as it gets hard.
Oh, good point.
This really allows us to, employ that creative part of our brain
And re-engage.
and just absolutely love this business again.
No, that's a great point. And also, I'm going to put Mark's not watching, I'm sure, but so Dilyar, everybody knows, joined us probably about 6 years ago, and I think now it was in the summer, I remember, and it was hot out, and she came into a lunch and learned at International Country Club, and she was fairly pregnant,
Fairly, very.
probably very, very pregnant, like
Very
could
pregnant.
give birth any day. And I guess Mark got to talking to Dilyar, and she was excited for the kid and whatnot, but mentioned that she wasn't having a baby shower during the conversation because she had multiple kids before, and the kid would just get mostly hand-me-downs or whatever. So Mark, and this is impressive for a dude,
For a
right?
dude.
To think that Mark went out of his way after this, and he went and bought a baby
A
baby
onesie,
clothes, like
baby
onesies,
onesie.
for it so that they could have their own stuff and everything wasn't a hand-me-down. I gave it to Dilara and
Dilara cried.
Oh wow, that's
Very
amazing.
emotional, but it
So-
was wonderful.
but it was like a
Yeah.
little thing, and obviously you know, she was did a lot of business before she came here, and she was an important recruit for us. But to go out of her way and think of something different, not just the things that everybody was doing when it came to recruit, made a big difference to Liara, and it was really cool of Mark. So I'll always remember that story. And it's like that. It was a little thing, it probably cost $10, but
Right.
made a huge difference to her in her world, that Mark was listening to what she said and really tried to give something of value to her that meant something. So
And, you know, I think
good
that
experience.
we all could learn a huge tip out of that, because how many of us stop and are not just thinking about how we're going to respond to something someone's saying, or we're ready to combat the objective, you know, the opposition, or we're ready to just dive in, but actively stop and listen and be able to figure out a way that we can then use that later to let them know they've been heard. That active listening is huge, and nobody does.
I'm awful at this.
I'm not great either.
I'm good at listening in the moment, but
I'm sorry. What did you guys say? I just
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well played.
Yeah.
But
Well
no,
played.
but to really drive it home, my friend Steve Harney from Keeping Current Matters, who passed away not too long ago, had always said that we, the local realtor, are so important. We deal with people's livelihoods, right? A surgeon deals with somebody's body and their one body. We often deal with somebody's home and their one home. It is very important, both in their financial lives and in their daily lives. And creating the experience around the movement of that asset is probably the most fun part of our job, but also the most crucial to making sure that we are irreplaceable, right? And we can take all of these notes that we write down, actively listening to our clients, right? We can create a custom GPT, which I will get into in that presentation.
I'm
And-
so excited.
And have it help us curate the experience to each client as to what their personality might
I
like.
love that.
That's awesome. I can't wait. Good stuff, Austin.
You have teed up your
You've
session.
teased everybody that they want to hear more on Thursday. So thank you for sharing today, and we look forward to seeing you on Thursday, buddy. Appreciate it.
Thank
All right. Thank you, Donnie. Thank you,
Take care,
Sarah.
Austin.
Take care.
All right, so I'm going to dive in. We're going to do a couple updates here. Then we're going to bring in Miss Lindsay here with Cardinal Title Group. Just a reminder, guys, every Friday we have the weekend update. It is the best way in 10 or 15 minutes to know what's going on here at Samson, what's going on next week, and keep you up to date. If we've got any important announcements, we make sure we get them out there in the weekend update to you. We'll always send emails, but I know people get a lot of emails. You know, you can throw me on in the car, or you can whatever it is, but we try to make it succinct. We give market updates and what's going on all over the place there. So without further ado, we will bring in, I thought I heard her back there. All right, Miss Lindsay, Carrie Lindsay, our amazing president here at Cardinal Title Group. So as she's walking in, the August capture rate for Cardinal Title Group. So Virginia, West Virginia, you guys got 55% of your buyers were able to come to Cardinal. Maryland, DC was 44%. Average capture rate is 50%. This was up a percentage or two in most of these areas. That's good news. This next slide shows the region. If the average is 50%, what region you're in, and if your office was below or above that, we got to pump up that Baltimore region, which is Bel Air, Clarksville, Columbia, White Marsh. Got to get that region up there a little bit. We're working on it. I know that we got some new recruits up there that are working to help that. And then we've got Maryland, West Virginia, Panhandle. We're struggling a little bit in that area. We got to get that up a little bit. That one's been higher. But Northern Virginia, Central Virginia doing great. And DC, Maryland Metro, that's really encouraging, because that one has normally been down. So that's that. It's got the Bethesda, Bowie, Burtonsville, National Harbor, Silver Spring, Waldorf, and the DC offices. So that's good stuff there. And we're always looking to track that. Now, it doesn't mean we're happy with where it's at, because we're getting better. We always want to push to get better, right? So
Yeah.
Good job out there. Let's keep those captures up. Just to remind everybody, it went out with the email this morning. Sarah and I filmed all of the, was it 630, 685,
6 plus.
I forget now, 635 or 685 closings that happened in August for Cardinal Title Group. Read off all those names. Fantastic. We also welcomed the 104 new family members to Samson last month and did the top fives. individuals and volume and transactions and teams and transactions and volume. So we did all those, released all those videos this morning. They'll be out on socials here in the next couple of days as well, so that you can see them there. So welcome, Miss Lindsay, Esquire and President of Cardinal Title Group. How are you doing today?
Hey, I'm great. How about you?
Good.
Look at all those titles.
Yeah. And
You know, I want to get, how do I get Esquire? I got to become a lawyer.
yeah, you do.
Oh,
You can do it. No, your free time.
It seems like a lot of work just to get a new title. You just give me a cool one. All right. Well, how's things going at Cardinal?
Things are excellent. We had a really busy August, as you can see from these numbers. Thank you, everybody. And we have a lot of winners who worked super extra hard in August. So I'm excited to recognize all these people. They have great titles too. Serena Pickering is our pre-processor of the month for August.
There you go, Serena. She's fairly new too.
She is. She's been here a little over a year. A lot of you probably know Serena because she mans our Virginia inbox.
Yes, that's how I know.
Yes. She sends out
She
reports
sent
on
my
Fridays.
report.
Yeah. So you can beat Joe in your bed on
Yes,
Friday.
yes.
Serena is a really important part of Cardinal. She's our pre-processor of the month, and she's also probably the next person who's going to get trained to be a processor at Cardinal.
Excellent.
So really proud to promote her from within. She does a terrific job with pre-processing and managing that Virginia inbox. Susan Bortz of our Ellicott
she's a
City
rock star.
office. She is a rock star because you already know what I'm going to say about Susan. So Debbie set a processing record in July, and in August, Susan broke the record.
Woo!
Susan processed 59 files in August. 59.
What was the world record?
57.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jeez, I thought it was
Yeah.
like 51. That's
Yeah.
phenomenal. Great job, Susan. Awesome
Yeah.
stuff.
Susan is awesome. She's in Ellicott City. She holds everything down there, and we are so happy. She's one of our newer team members, and we're so happy to welcome her to Cardinal and award her as Processor of the Month for August. Jeanette Kidd is our Settlement Agent of the Month. Many of you know Jeanette from the settlement table down on the 4th floor. She also travels to other offices. Jeanette always has a great attitude, so knowledgeable at the closing table, and there's a real asset to Cardinal, so we're happy for her to be recognized. Alex, our post-closer of the month. Alex sits in our Alexandria office.
There you go.
She post-closes Maryland files, and she has worked at Cardinal longer than I have, since 2016 or 2017. So she's an original at Cardinal.
Look at that.
Yeah. So
Way
way
to
to go, Alex. She post-closed so many files. She does a terrific job, and it's a real pleasure to
It's
be
longer
around.
than Sarah, too.
Yeah, she's beating Sarah. Go, Alex.
Go, Alex.
And last but not least, we have Sybil Hahn of the Above and Beyond winner. This is something we voted on, and Sybil is our winner for August. Many of you know Sybil from the settlement table. You know her from calling her with title questions or estate questions, and also from the settlement table.
Lawyers, right?
She is. Yeah, she's a settlement attorney. She works in Chantilly. She's usually downstairs and happy to answer those questions. And also she does tons of closings for us. So congratulations, Sybil, getting the most votes for Above and Beyond for August.
Awesome. Love it. Great award winners. Now we threw this slide in here, and it's looks like me at the end of the night when I'm doing my late night work. I think that actually was me last night
Yeah.
with the hoodie on, just focused, not blocking out the world. But that guy's a little scary. So wire fraud. Are we just reminding everybody about the risks here?
Just remind everybody, because we do have some scares with regard to wire fraud.
Yes.
And we just want to remind everybody, we will only send out the wiring instructions through Qualia. So if you get a regular email that seems like it's from somebody at Cardinal, it is not a legitimate email. We will only send wiring instructions through Qualia, no exceptions. So anything that seems like it might be a regular email, always call us at a phone number you already have to verify what you've gotten and to let us know if you did get something that seems suspicious. We bank at Bank United, and you're not going to have wiring instructions that are not sent through Qualia and that are not from Bank United. So 2 things for you to be aware of, that we don't bank anywhere else. So it would always be Bank United if it's money coming to Cardinal.
It's a real thing, guys. We just had a story. Now it was not our client, thankfully, but we had the listing, right? Was the story. And one of our great listing agents, great buyer agent on the other side, one of the best lenders in all of Northern Virginia in the middle of it. And buyer went on they got us fraudulent email from the lender, supposedly sent $100-something thousand, their whole life savings, sent it in for closing 2 weeks away. Then they went on vacation, came back, went to closing. They're ready to start signing. And they're like, all right, so we need your money. I'm like, what do you mean? We sent that in 2 weeks ago. I know, right? It's super sad. Some of the best people around them in the industry. So you might think, they're just They're just wasting time talking about wire fraud. It is a real thing. You must have this conversation with every buyer and seller. You must tell them, do not send money anywhere without checking on me. It is so much worse to be on the other end of that. I mean, they didn't buy the house, the seller went back on the market, the buyer lost their life. I mean, so many things that went wrong there. So there's just so much to lose here, and it's worth a minute conversation to have their back. Make sure they understand where they're going to get it from Cardinal. The other thing I would say is this, and obviously it's a plug for Cardinal because they're our title company and Carrie's great and the team's great, is if you're working with a title company because you're forced to and they want to, there's some other title companies that don't use quality and don't use secure software, and they want you to email your wiring information. Absolutely not. Or fax it or whatever. I mean, that is just so antiquated, and that's a hard no. You know, you will get on the phone with somebody from that company if you need to give that information or whatever you need to do, but they should have secure software you can send it. But if they don't, please, it is too important. People's whole life savings are at stake here. You know, make sure you treat that with care and have the conversation. Enough of my my grinding. We thank you to Cardinal Title Group for all the great Cardinal trends. You can't see those on all the social medias. You have gotten them. You typically should get them in your Friday email box. If you did not get them on Friday, let me know. I do go over those on the weekend update to kind of give some context to them as we talk through them. But they're a fantastic tool, and I know Lynn teaches some classes in HQDUs and in her normal classes about how to use those trends in buyer appointments, in seller appointments, to keep your clients up to date with what's going on in the market today. The great part about Cardinal and the great part about how you support us is we're giving that weekly information with 150, 170, 200 contracts in a week that we're evaluating, not 10, 12, 13, and then trying to give stats like that's meaningful stats with 150, 200 contracts. That's what's really going on out there. So good stuff. Thank you, Carrie. Anything to add for Cardinal Title Group?
Thank you for keeping us so busy. We're in another great month here in September. So thank you, everybody. Looking for some of those capture rates to go up a little bit. So if we can do anything to help you, let us know. We love working with all of you and we appreciate your business.
Awesome stuff. As a reminder too, you can now do closings in our Annapolis office and in our Towson office. We've got Regis offices there that you can close. You can they can perform Cardinal closings in, which is fantastic. We also Carrie, what was her name again? I'm sorry. I don't want to say it right. It's not Ayana because I say it wrong. It's Ayana every time. Yeah. It's Ayana. I got it correct. It was another word that I said was wrong. Ayana, we've got a great
well, let's not remember that one.
A new business development business development representative for Cardinal Title Group who's really focused on Maryland, focused on building those relationships in Maryland. Ayana's great. So if you're in the Maryland offices, specifically the Bowie, National Harbor, Waldorf, Columbia, kind of that area of Maryland, we're really looking at being there as Cardinal in business development and making sure that we're here for you even more. So
Absolutely.
Reach out and talk to Ayana if you haven't yet, and she'll make sure to take good care of you.
Fantastic.
There you go. All right. So forward rolling. Now we need people to participate. All right. So no more of this we got you in the background. I'm not really listening. I need hands raised. I want people to hop in here. I want to know what are you seeing in the market that you're at, whether it's open houses or listing counts. Are you seeing more inventory, less inventory? Tom Malinsky, I'm going to pick on you because you came on our screen up there. Yeah, it was like The Price is Right.
I know. It's like, who's up there? We're calling.
Like everybody's waiting. They're like, yeah, the next contestant of The Price is Right. Tom, unmute yourself, buddy. I want to hear what you're seeing in your market up there.
Okay. I mean, it's like a really crazy market. I mean, I think listing wise, we're down, slightly. And we're like in a pause area. We didn't feel what Virginia felt and DC did like 5-6 months ago, but now I think we're starting to slow down a little bit with listings.
Okay.
And something I want to mention too about Austin, it was very good points. And I always tell people too, if you're in the business more than 3 years and you become like a robot, you go get the listing form signed, you get the docs, you have the people either DocuSign up where you go, blah, 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 blah. You have to take it more personal and the people have to feel that, you're caring about them and your situation. If you give them that impression, you'll never lose the listing. They'll always, believe in you, and it's a good relationship.
Right. Absolutely.
No, I love that. It's so true. I actually and I'm forgetting the name of the book, but it's a famous book now, creating the uncontrollably great experience. I'm going to think of the title right as I'm done here, but I actually saw the guy speak 5 years ago in New York, and he talked about that client experience and creating wild, outlandish things. I know this sounds crazy, okay? And I said this in a sales meeting 5.5 years ago, and people looked at me like I had two heads. But how crazy would it be if today they're buying their first house and they're really excited, or they're buying their new house and they're all excited, and you had arranged for a limo to pick them up at home and take them to walk through and take them to closing and take them home.
Oh,
It would cost you 3 hours of limo time, a couple $100 on a Tuesday afternoon. I'm sure you could get a limo for $100 an hour or something. But how many pictures would they take? How much would they share that? How much would they tell everybody around that my realtor made me feel like this was the biggest day of our lives, right? We become robots, right, Tom? I would first admit I became a robot when it came to the transactions. I was really good at what I did, but I lost the emotion most of the time. I had to remind myself to have the emotion that it took, but I was really good at funneling through it. But I mean, what a day if they show up and all of a sudden there's a limo outside for them at 10 a.m. to pick them up to go to walk through and closing or go to their closing. And I mean, now obviously maybe that's extreme for some people, but there's somewhere short of that you could make that experience and that relationship amazing. Austin talked about tea. Mark bought a onesie.
Right.
Like stuff like that makes the experience
You
makes
are
it
right.
different.
You are right. I mean, I will not forget. I did not do this for the social media blitz that countered after that, but I had clients one time that were moving and it was snowing and the moving truck was supposed to show up. And my first thought was, who's going to scrape that driveway? Because
Right.
the sellers aren't, they're gone. So I put on my galoshes, right? And put the snow shovel in the back of my car. It needed my workout for that day. I just went and shoveled the driveway. Well, when they backed the car up or the moving truck up, I'm sitting there shoveling snow. They took pictures. It went viral with all of their friends about me sitting there shoveling the driveway for them. And it was an hour of my time and it wasn't something
Video, just make sure that you didn't drop
dead
No.
from all that
She
exertion.
made it through.
But it was something
They're worried
that
about you.
didn't cost me any money. It cost me an hour of my time, and they are forever grateful to the point that they still, every time I talk, remember that time it snowed and you were out there shoveling our driveway? Well, yes, I do. My body still feels it, but yeah. But it's just the little acts of kindness as well that show people that we care and that we're thinking about them. So I love that.
Good.
And we have to remember too, we do this every day. We do, listing agreements, we do reports. So we go into the customer's home or especially a first time home buyer, the pamphlets that we have through Samson is wonderful. I give them a pamphlet, read it, take it home. But we have to, not, like I said, be a robot and blah, 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 blah. We have to explain and make them feel comfortable and knowledgeable.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
agree. All right. Thank you, Tom. Good stuff. I love it. You're the man. I see the art of real estate up
Yep.
there. I'm picking on you next. I'm picking on you next, Art.
Good morning.
Unmute yourself, my man. Oh, I love that cap. Look at you. You're rocking
Samson
this.
Properties.
It offsets all the trophies you have in the back there from that other company.
I know.
I like the hat at least. Thanks, Art. Oh, unmute. Did anybody allow him to unmute himself?
Yes.
MUTE. It has to unmute.
We already have. There we go. Got it again.
Or just sign language what you're gonna say to us. Oh no, you did unmute that mute again. You did it twice. This is riveting TV, in case anybody was wondering. All right, anybody else want to jump in while Art's trying to figure it out? Somebody else.
Not your first rodeo, Art.
Art spoke at our last sales meeting, so we know that his computer does have volume.
That's
All right.
hilarious.
Anybody else? What are they seeing in that marketplace out there? Well, I'm going to give you guys a second to think, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you one announcement here while people are thinking about what they're going to add. If you can put up my slide there for me real quick.
There we go.
All right, so Samson Plus. Samson Plus is our amazing coaching program here at Samson Properties that Richard Bridge, our Director of Agent Development, leads up. Richard, are you out there? I think I saw you. I'm going to have you come in, but I love to hear other voices rather than just my own nonstop. I can talk about it all the time, but We asking him to.
I did. I asked him to unmute.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Hey, yes.
There he is. Richard, how's Samson Plus going?
Oh, it's going great, man. We just hit our 2-year mark just now, and we're definitely kind of getting our legs under us, and our coaches are getting into stride, and we've had people who've been in the program since we started. And I know yesterday marketing was kind enough to post a success story for one of our coaching
Right
clients
here.
who works with right there with Kathy Pippin.
You want me to read this for us?
Sure.
All right. So Jana Classy, maybe. Big shout out to Jana Classy for crushing it. Since joining the coaching program, she's already closed 4 sales and just signed a new listing agreement last week.
Nice job, Jana.
We're so proud of her commitment and growth. Coaching works when you put in the effort, and Jana is proof of that. Guys, I'll let Richard talk about Samson Plus here in a second, but I will say this. This is the single most underutilized. We have a lot of people in coaching, but it's still the single most underutilized thing we have here. The best part about being a realtor is you don't have a boss. But guys, the worst part about being a realtor is you don't have a boss. Most of you don't need, you need help on a game plan. You need help with accountability. You need help getting to the goals that you want to get to. And having a coach come alongside you, one of our amazing coaches, every single person that jumps into that program is thankful for it, and their business shoots up because of it. We could have dozens of stories like Jana's in there. So I just really think people should dive into Samson Plus. Our announcement today, though, is it's been so successful, and the people are doing a good job, and our coaches want to be able to continue to pour into it, that our prices are going up October 1st. They've been ridiculously cheap, a quarter of the price or an eighth of the price of other programs out there. So we are going to go up a little bit October 1st. So that is 2 weeks, just less than 2 weeks from today. So today's the call to action. If you've been thinking about Samson Plus, dumping your toe in the water, talk to Richard. You can set up a one-on-one, talk with him. He can connect you with one of our coaches and try it out. I think it's a great investment in your business. You can't just keep doing the same thing and expect different results. Getting in with a coach and getting yourself refocused is going to be a key to your success. So, Richard, I know I talked a lot there, but anything you want to add about Samson Plus?
Yeah, the biggest thing is we just have to give a super shout out to you, Donnie, and Samson Properties in general. The only reason we're able to make it so affordable, I mean, that was the biggest thing when we came to you, and when I came to you and was like, hey, we need to do this coaching thing, we need to update it, and we're gonna have to charge, right? In order to get the best, most talented coaches, the ones that are top producers in their own right, that have crazy hourly rates, we're going to have to incentivize them enough to be able to take their eye off of their business and focus on someone else's business, right? So we got to pay them well. And up to this point, really, Samson has been digging into their own pocket to make that happen for you. And all we're trying to do now is just kind of balance those scales, make sure that our coaches are well paid, well compensated, so you're getting their best effort in helping you get those goals and hit the goals and make that happen. And we are still, like you mentioned, a fraction of the cost, and we are still able to do the success fee model where you pay nothing upfront, you pay nothing monthly, you only pay if you make money, right? So you make money, we make money, but we also have a very reasonable fixed cost program as well. And I'll put in the chat over here the link to the coaching page on the Nest. So if you want more information or to schedule with me, both of those pieces of information are on that, including all the information for our coaches. So thank you for giving me a couple minutes there, Donnie. And if you want to get locked in on pricing pre-October 1st, please reach out to me. I'd be happy to talk to you.
Okay. Appreciate it, Richard. Awesome stuff. Any questions about coaching from anybody in the crowd right now before I let Richard go? Then you're going to have to jump in and help me with some market discussion out there, people. I'm not talking to myself anymore, and Art doesn't know how to unmute. So we're stuck there. We're stuck there. All right. Well, if any questions for Richard, his email's in the chat and the link right to coaching. Hey.
The system prevented me from unmuting. Just
yeah, it was the system, Art.
Nod, Art.
Sure.
So I think if I remember from long ago, the question was kind of what we're seeing in the market. I touched on this in the presentation I did at Tyson's at HQ to you. By the way, encore presentation coming at National Harbor for anyone who wants to.
Excellent. I heard it was great. I heard you did a great job, Art. So
I thank you.
And it wasn't just from your wife; that was from other people.
Yeah. No, basically, one of the things that I was kind of speaking to and it has to do with initial pricing and price reductions, just kind of what we're experiencing, is this gap between kind of where sellers are, by and large, in their mindset, very stubborn. They're very reluctant to kind of see, read the tea leaves the way that the market might be currently versus what it was recently. And then buyers who are very cautious. And I kind of think of it like sellers are living in yesterday, buyers are concerned about tomorrow, and here we are today trying to figure out how to bring them together. And I think it just really, it's really underlined by a lot of what I'm seeing, and I think other people are seeing in the market, that I think will start to shake loose as rates come down and, we get kind of out of the summer doldrums, and probably a lot of little things that will start to chip away at that. But as long as that gap exists, it's much, much more difficult to bring buyers and sellers together. And again, I think both have sort of legitimate perceptions to a degree, but I think largely sellers are behind really where the market is, not where it was. And that's what I'm seeing in the marketplace.
I think that's totally true. And I think what you have to do is you have to find, Casey did a good job presenting it in the Samson Mastery the other day, which we'll get up that video. But I think you need to find the way that you can display those stats most effectively, because I think you have to tell that story. You have to tell the story of, whatever the market is, and each one's different. So we can't just do 150 market updates for everybody out there. But the idea of, hey, look, there's 10 active listings in this neighborhood that you're in, and 3 have gone under contract in the last month. And here's where the ones that have gone under contract. I know you see these 10 that are active listed at these price points. These are the 3 that have gone under contract. This is where they were priced at. Only 3 are going to go under contract next month out of these 10. You have to start to show them the real life stats of what's going on today instead of what they believe because they heard about their neighbor that got X in June, which was an April contract, which is a different world than September 18th.
And that's real. Guys, this is real. If you have not been in the market for over 7-8 years, you haven't done this before.
Yeah.
This is the first time in the last 8-9 years that I have had to send a weekly update. We had 3 properties go off the market and 12 come on.
That's
average days on market's now elongating and nothing's gone off the market over the sales price set tight, right? It's like these are market updates that if you have not been in the market or been in the business for a while, you've never had to send these and craft these. And it's so important for that communication to stay engaged, because your natural inclination is going to be, I don't want to give good news, so I don't want to talk to them.
Yeah.
And you've got to lean in and you've got to engage and you've got to communicate, because I can promise you at the end of the day, if you're not telling them what's going on and you're not the market update, then you are the problem. They're going to blame it on you. And it's not a you problem. It's just that you didn't communicate well on what's actually happening in the market. So you got to engage, you got to communicate, you got to share those stats.
Well, you guys, Donnie in particular, are really good at stealing my thunder. That is a large part of what I'm trying to share in the training on October 1st, I believe. National Harbor, come on down.
The next contestant.
Mindset,
right.
talk track. It's how to speak to them in addition to what Casey does such a great job of in the macro. Like here's what we're seeing at the larger level, which affects you. It's how to take it down to their specific competition and speak in a way that, again, they're not just thinking about the house down the street that sold back in March and making their value determinations based on that. It's a way to kind of prick holes in that in a professional way to get them to hopefully see the light. And then actually, if you do have to have a price reduction, how to do that effectively. So again, I appreciate your stealing my thunder.
No, and I would say, get out to those classes and stuff like that. We're teaching stuff like that, like artists and others at our HQDU. So it's a great asset. Get with neighbors, get with accountability, watch some of our classes when you get a chance to. If you're not comfortable with that, one thing that Casey preached, and look, some people feel comfortable with this, some don't. If you're not comfortable going through that process from beginning to end, and you're going to go interview against other agents, find an Art, find a Casey, find a Elizabeth Klein, find a
video
somebody,
yourself,
find a Carrie, find somebody that is great in that area already, and find a partner, because you've got to be And maybe it needs one time for you to partner with a great pro like Art on a listing that's near him that he can feel comfortable partnering with you on, because you want to win the listing. And you've got to figure out, how do I go about talking to a seller about pricing a home properly and marketing it properly and showing it properly, and then adjusting the price point if need be. And if I know we don't require mentors if you've done 15 listings, but doing a listing now is different than doing a listing in the last 5 years. Doing a listing now is like doing a listing in a balanced market 7, 8, or 10, or 12, or 15 years ago, where we've had a lot of these balanced markets. So if you are going to try to get some nice listing and you don't feel comfortable that you have all the skills that Art and some of these other great agents talking about, find a partner. Look, 50% of a big number is better than 100% of nothing. All right. And you're going to get 100% of nothing. You're either not going to get the listing or you're not going to sell the listing if you don't have these skills behind your back. Partner with somebody once or twice, then you'll be able to fly by yourself if that's what you need to do. So if you need help finding a partner, you can look in Bright and find the great agents in your area, or ask your local broker manager, ask one of us, and we can find you a good partner for sure. It's not too difficult to do. You can email all those inquiries to bdurham@samsonproperties.net. Bethany's great at finding partners for you. So thank you, Art. I appreciate your insight.
Absolutely.
Good stuff there. The one other point that I'm going to make with this, and I'm going to close up here in a second here, is setting yourself up property-wise, in the presentation. And Jason spoke at RIS Media at the conference that we were at 2 weeks ago in DC, and he said PPP, price, presentation, and patience, were kind of his 3 Ps, about setting the price point, presentation of the house, and then having patience and setting that timeline with the sellers.
How is your patience?
Mine?
Samson?
My patience isn't super great, but the presentation of the house I want to talk about for a second. If you are not comfortable talking to a seller about how their house needs to be better, you need to find a staging partner, and you need to bring somebody and say, look, this is what I'm going to do.
Right.
As part of my listing presentation, I'm bringing in a staging partner, right? And they're going to help stage up your house, and you're going to either price that into the listing, okay, or you're going to cover that to help you win the listing, but you need that staging consult, and either you cover the staging, either they cover the staging based on your pricing, but you need somebody else to give those tips. If the block is, I don't have money or I don't want to do those things, you need to be able to show those sellers how they need to make those changes in today's market, or they're not going to sell. If it's ugly, it's not going to sell. Or if it does, you're not going to like the number it sells for. It's going to sell at 5% under what it should sell for, because people are going to take that house and have to fix it up themselves.
If your house looks like crap, you're going to get a crap price.
Crap times 2. Really, even because
it's going to cost you $1,000.
Got Barbara good on that one. She got a good
they're going to try to take off tens of thousands of dollars for it's the pain in my butt factor, and I don't want to make sure I want to make, if I'm having to do the work as a buyer, then it's going to need to be worth my while.
So
right?
if the second part that people have a problem with is, well, I can't see the value, you need to help show them the value that would you buy the house, or would you want a big discount if you need to work on it? The second part is they don't have the money to come up with it. You need to find a max home sales price, or a partner that will a lot of contractors out there that will fix up the house and pay for it at closing. Most 99.9% of the sellers you have a lot of equity in the house. They can push 30, 20 grand, 30 grand, 60 grand, 100 grand in fix up to the closing table. And every dollar they spend, they're going to get twice that back when it comes to what they're getting for the home. It show them that putting 30 grand into it now, yes, it's going to take a week or two, but they're going to get 50, 60 grand more in the contract price, and they're never going to have to take $1 out of their pocket, because the 30 grand is going to come right out of closing. So if you don't have a partner like that now, they are floating around all over the place. There's contractors in the nest. Reach out to us. They sponsor some of our events, some of these people. So I just think it's key that you not only get great at the pricing, which we teach a lot about, but the presentation of homes.
Agreed.
And if you're not great with that, find partners. Find stagers, find contractors, find people that will make that life easier. You need to be the one-stop shop with the best advice and the best way to make that house look shiny and pretty and new, or else it's not going to work. I mean, Sarah's got a listing now. It's gorgeous, except it's got some rough edges around it that the sellers won't fix. And at some point, Sarah's going to have to pay somebody to come in and fix it, because she knows it's going to be a block to selling this home probably. But it's about showing, and she's getting there, but showing that the sellers that they've got to wake up and realize it's not selling like this. It's got to look like a 10 if you want a 10 price.
And that's where that communication just comes in. You've got to keep telling them, you've got to keep showing them, even if you feel like you're ramming your head through a wall. At the end of the day, you got to ram your head through the wall harder because that's the joy of our job. And then you love on them with tea.
I just got a headache. But if you give them that tea ahead of time, like Austin, then you're.
But I'm going to put vodka in my tea. I'm just saying.
You don't even drink vodka.
I don't, but these sellers may make
It's a
me.
good joke, though. They might make you.
They might.
All right. Any other closing thoughts or questions before we close up here? Speak now or forever hold your peace. We are excited about everything going on here at Samson.
Guys, this week is great. We are so excited to share all the wonderful things with you, and we hope you will come to TPT.
Come out to TPT. Yes. There's still tickets available for Thursday in Gaithersburg. It's going to be an amazing day of education. There's nothing like being in person. I know you can wait around for a little bit, and then we'll post the videos online, but it's not
but
the
you're
same.
watching while you're doing laundry and playing with your dog and cooking dinner, and you're not going to have the energy that is just going to influx your soul to be able to get fired up about this business again.
Two other things that I did not mention that I do mention in the weekend updates, but October 7th, we're going to have a lead generation and team trade show event. Here in Northern Virginia, we're still locking down the location, but you're going to be able to have a great lead generation panel with some of our great solo agents talk about how they create leads. And then we're going to have 20 of our top teams are going to be there, and they're going to have almost an expo where you can meet the team leads. A lot of you are considering joining teams. So you can either come to get lead generation tactics and come to meet some of our team leads. Absolutely. That's going to be October 7th. And we'll send that more on the Tea Weekend updates. And then October 9th, here at Chantilly, we have our chili cook-off and cornhole competition. You can sign up for that now.
I will be eating all the chili.
Everybody else is playing for second. But
you have a partner yet?
No, there'll be tryouts.
There will be tryouts for Donny's partner.
There'll be tryouts to be my partner. Bethany threw one yesterday, and we determined she is not my partner. That's for sure. Extra points for hitting the ceiling.
I told you, I practiced a couple weekends ago.
You are not my partner.
I practiced.
I'm cleaning up.
Bag. It went into the hole for the first time ever. I was so excited. My dog went straight into the hole after it came up, board on its head. I'm like, I'm done.
That's amazing. All right. In seriousness, thank you so much. Our company is going just in a phenomenal path, and it's because of the great pros on this call and in our brokerage. Thank you so much for all your hard work. Thank you for the professional manner in which you conduct business, lifting our name, lifting our brand. Thank you for your support of Cardinal Title Group. Without that, we can't continue to grow into the amazing company we are. We're going to put out some charts here this week on being number one in the DMV and where those numbers have gone, so you can see year by year by year, and it's going to be super effective. And I want all of you to use that in our listening presentations. I want you to be proud of the fact that you work and are a huge part of the number one brokerage in the DMV.
Absolutely. So we are very blessed to be working with all of you.
Thank you all very much. And we will see you all at TPT and all the other events coming up soon.
See you soon. Bye-bye.